Welcome to the Soul Navigators podcast. I'm Dr. MonaLisa Coburn, and each week we explore the living wisdom of one consciousness through grounded, soul-led conversations. The themes we explore are inspired by my book, The Joy of One Consciousness, but this space goes far beyond the pages into real-life application, healing, and awakening. So take a breath, settle into your heart, and let's begin today's journey together. I'm MonaLisa, and here is Kati. And on this fun episode of Soul Navigators, I'm so excited to be here. So Kati, on this episode, is going to tell us all about Alchemy in Motion, her business, and I'm very excited for that. And then because I want to know how she got into this business that we all are a little bit crazy in a good way, you know. And then after that, we'll dive a little bit into the root chakra and find out why it's important and why I really feel like people shouldn't just skip over it. And then we'll go into mediumship. So if you're listening, you have a loved one on the other side you want to connect with, make sure you dial on in. And so we're excited for that. So Kati, would you like to start with explaining all about this alchemy in motion and how you got into this business?
Well, you know, I have to laugh when I hear alchemy in motion, because there were many times over the past couple of years that even my good friends would be like, you know, why alchemy? That doesn't sound right. Like, alchemy is just something that, you know, that's kind of a hard word. What does it really mean? What does it do? And every time I would think like, well, you know, should I listen to them? Is that even a thing? You know, and I would meditate on it and I would get the same answer. Stick with it. Alchemy is meant to be an everyday word in all of our vocabulary. It is the thing. And the emotion part is that I am a person that likes to continually work on different projects and growth and things like that. But for me, it came back, my awakening started about 15, 16 years ago, and we all have our own story. I feel like when I tell that story now, I'm not even the same person, you know, it sounds kind of weird, you know, but we all go through our own trials and tribulations, and mine kept coming back to me. Actually, you know, just before The Secret came out. And then when I came across The Secret, it started, you know, I could relate to it a lot more. But I was having dreams. I was having visions. I realized that, you know, my invisible friends that I had when I was younger, they're still here. And, you know, things just kept moving. And the more I worked on it, and I kept meeting with people who were just coming across my path in my journey that were going through the same thing, it just became bigger and bigger. So I started listening to like Wayne Dyer and Neville Goddard and Louise Hay and even some others that aren't as well known as they are, but it just spiraled from there. I really have to give credit to, say, for instance, like Wayne Dyer's 10 Secrets of Inner Peace, because that one just completely made me realize that I'm doing the right thing and I'm going in the right direction. Alchemy in Motion came in as I, over the past, 10, 12 years, realized how much I like to connect community, apparently. I had a friend tell me that a long time ago.
You love it. You shine when you do. You just shine when you talk about community and what you're doing for the locals. It's just, you glow.
It just happens. And all of a sudden these visions start coming and things start happening. And I'm like, just point me in the right direction. But in doing all of that and what I came through, I had friends and friends of friends and just start asking me like, well, why are you okay with it? You know, I went through a terrible divorce. There was a lot of things going on, but they're like, you've come out okay. You look at your kids are doing great. Like, what is happening? And so I started sharing that, and eventually more started coming, and I thought I better start charging for this. So Alchemy in Motion, it has a lot of different legs to it. One, most importantly, is mindset coaching, and that can be for individuals or for groups. as well. Mindset coaching is done in so many different ways, just like the way you do, MonaLisa. I don't know what else you call it, but it's a lot of different types of teachings that we've been, or trainings that we've been certified in, that come in at the time when I'm meeting with a client. So it could be hypnotherapy, it could be Reiki, it could be neurolinguistic programming, readings, you name it. And it's just helping them to release the blocks, to heal, or peel back and heal any and all emotional traumas or soul fragments, things like that that have happened in their life that keep them from awakening and experiencing what an abundant life that they can truly have. So there's that. There's been groups, there's been businesses that I've been working with as well. So say, for instance, I have a few real estate agents that, their houses aren't selling. So they asked me to come in and heal the home. And that's what I do. I go in.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
So much
fun. So much fun.
It is.
Yeah.
So
how I was going to ask, how can people, connect with you?
Oh, I'm definitely on social media under Alchemy in Motion, but my number is right out there. It's very public. If you want it, it's 562-547-3527. But I've been pretty public for quite some time. Alchemy in Motion hasn't been so much, but now it's starting to become something bigger. So that's pretty exciting too. What else? I mean, it's just what do we do? We just move along, and it's about
and grow, right?
Yeah,
we grow, and our businesses grow with us. And so
yes.
they're very thankful. I know that you've been a real blessing in my life, and we seem to, I want to say, mirror and just grow off of each other, if that makes any sense.
And right back at you. I mean, how many times would I call her and say, what do you think of this? Like, this is what's coming to me. Are you getting this too? Or am I just nuts? Or am I just crazy? And it all ends up being completely divine and completely, verified. Right. And it just works out. It works out well. And we all know that there's so much for everybody here. There's so much abundance. So to learn from others and learn from you, and it's been a true blessing.
And one of my clients, one of the questions they ask, well, when you get here, how do you get healed? Well, we're still healing, right? And so Katie, if I really need one, will give me a healing, and I will give her a healing. So as things come up, and we're pretty strong girls. We know we're very connected to source energy, but at the same time, when someone else gives you a healing, it's like that old saying, where two or more are gathered, there's strength in numbers. And often she will pull out something that was it, even though I've already
me.
Yeah, and vice versa. So that's why it's so good to have a healer. And so I have another friend. Every now and then she'll call me up and say, I haven't called you lately, but I need this healing. And she thinks she can heal herself, and then I'll give her a healing. She goes, that's what I was missing. That's what I was missing. So, and I think our team probably sets us up for it, because there's something about the magic of community. And if anyone has any questions for Katie, make sure you put them in the live chat as well. So she's Alchemy in Motion. I'm Soul Navigators. And with that, I'm going to dive into the chakras for a few minutes, unless you have something to add. I didn't mean to cut you off whatsoever.
Oh, no. You're good. It's all about growth and going after what feels inspiring to you, because when you are, working in inspiration, you're working in spirit, and that is truly going to help you get those.
I find it
ideas that come to fruition.
Yeah, I find it so interesting how Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer, he was so inspirational to the two of us. Yeah, I love that. I love that about us. I really, really do. So, chakras, really, if you don't know about the chakras, I tell people to think of a rainbow, red, orange, yellow, and the chakras start at the base of your spine and they go all up to the basic 7. So in this moment, today we're really going to focus on the root chakra, which is right there at the hip area. It's right there at the pelvic floor, is the root chakra. And generally it's associated with the color red. And for those of you who haven't dived deep into the chakras are basically vortex energy centers. And it is where a combination, so you have at that root chakra, each chakra governs a certain area of physicality, spirituality, and your I want to say psychology. So you have 3 different areas that it governs, each and every chakra. So for instance, the root chakra, physically, it governs the hips, the legs, the feet. There's certain lower organs and glands. Every chakra has a gland system. It's the adrenals, which for the root chakra, adrenals, as you all know, it's your fight or flight stress hormone. So if you're under a lot of stress, it won't hurt you any. But if you continually to be under a lot of stress, then what happens in your energy center, it trickles down from the energy into your body. So I often tell people, think that you're a soul, you're a light body, and your physicality is the crystalline point of your soul, but that crystalline point is still made up of light. It's just more dense. So when you have something in your energy body, and let's say you have something in your root chakra, you're suffering from anxiety. I think anxiety is a big one that many people have. So if you have a lot of anxiety, it will trickle down into your physicality, and it might look like you can't sleep, you have insomnia. So that's a physical, it becomes physical if you don't take care of it. And so maybe you can't sleep, maybe you're really nervous. And so this is how our energy centers kind of help keep us aware. So what we're supposed to do when you're awake is when you first have a feeling and it's not positive, it's good to look at it, or you have a physical feeling. So let's say your physical symptom that you might have is your sciatic nerve, which is part of your root chakra. So you're having troubles with your sciatic nerve. So if you sit with it and you don't know why all of a sudden your sciatic nerve bothers you, you can sit with it and just calm yourself and say, why? Ask yourself why. Why is my sciatic nerve bothering me? And normally you'll get some kind of answer that you may not have thought of. Maybe, you'll flash on that yesterday you picked up some heavy rocks and carried them and you just didn't carry it right. Or maybe you have something you're actually carrying that you're not supposed to. Maybe you're trying to control something instead of giving it over to your higher power. So chakras are vortex centers, and think of them as informational centers. They kind of like guide the information that's coming in through your energy. So if you have too much fear, if you have what else could be in shame and blame. A lot of people call the root chakra, if it's unbalanced, it can be victimhood, right? You feel like you're a victim instead of learning that life happens to you and through you. And I didn't know what that meant. So let me take a moment to explain that life happens to you and through you. Your life, everything around you, is through your perception. Is through your perception. So if someone is mistreating you through their words, you have a choice. When they say mean and unkind things, you can just let it go. Like, think of yourself, turn on a water faucet. You can even have this visual image from now on. When someone says mean or unkind things, think of a water faucet pouring over you and just let those mean, nasty words go. So they can't hurt you unless you let them. So that's what it means when life happens to you and through you. All that to say, we are made up of light, and the root chakra is, in Hindu, it's the Muladhara is probably what a lot of you have heard of. That's what they call it in Hindu. Now, not each, many indigenous cultures around the planet have different names for chakras. I simply call the root chakra. But if you're from one indigenous tribe, you might call it different than the Hindu name. And what I tell people is that source energy doesn't matter what you call it, just stick with that name. So if you were taught a different name than the root chakra or Muladhara, then stick with whatever name, because source energy knows what you're referring to. And so the root chakra is generally considered red. The secondary color is black, meaning that each chakra has a color and a frequency. It's actually a range. One of the frequencies, and Katie loves listening to her sound. So it's 396 hertz is one of them. There's another one that's very popular. I think it's 423 hertz. And so, Katie, is there a certain range? But you have to understand, so the red, there's a variety of reds, even reds we can't see. So it's a range, is what my team has told me. It's a range of frequency. And so what actually vibrates and makes you feel slightly better, may not be the same for everyone. But Katie, do you know which ones you like to listen to for the root chakra? Which frequencies?
You know what? I really get called to the love frequency the most. The what is the 420? And I just turn it on love frequency, and that's what pops. There's a variety of them, but that same one will always pop up for me, and that one is really good. I've tried others, and some of them sometimes, like, I really like to play them in the background, or I like to play them while I sleep, and sometimes they've got some frequencies that are great, but the beat itself might not be the type of thing I want to drift off to sleep to. So you just got to find what works best for you, what feels good for you, and you'll know it as soon as you hear it. The root chakra is, I had to learn a lot about the root chakra before I could even begin my own healings, because MonaLisa, when we heal, it's not just about, okay, here's like a shot and you're done. It's an empowerment. It's to get in there. It's to remove the blocks. It's to heal and then waken the healer inside each of our clients.
Right. Absolutely. And that you said that, you reminded me that, of course, if you're a healer, you're going to think of the root chakra with the 3 S's. The root chakra is all about safety, security, and stability. So a lot of people will call it the 3 S's. That's the root. Those are the 3 main things that it governs. And it sounds really short and simple. It is quite profound. And a part of Yeah,
Sorry.
it's the roots.
It's a
Yeah,
root
it's the
for a
root.
reason. Like think of a big tree, like a big root. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, and that's what a lot of people have a hard time with, because that is your safety. It's financial security, it's physical security, it's your
It,
stability with being
it's
able to
so
walk through
it,
your day.
yeah, it is so much. And people get it governs I want to say the skin. It governs the skeletal. So you think of people, or the muscles. So people that have like muscle fatigue, or they're always tired. It's normally something to do with the root. And when you're first learning, and you think, okay, well, I figured out what is bothering me, and then you still have the root problem. I tell people, well, how many years did you work a job you didn't like? Well, 20. Okay, and so you can absolutely, according to everyone who's spiritual, turn this on a dime, turn around on a dime. But normally how it works for your greatest growth is it takes time. And it takes your devotion, meaning that you want to have the intent. As I do this healing, I'm healing my root chakra, right? So whatever healing you decide to do, and one way you can begin to heal a root chakra, one of the basic ways is, I call it, I don't know what Katie calls it. I call it the 4x4 breath work, right? So you just breathe in, you count 4, and then you hold it for 4, you breathe out for 4, and you repeat it 4 times. If you're feeling anxiety, if you're feeling stress, that's breath work that will help you. And even if you don't feel like, oh, you can do that in public, just practice it. No one will ever know. Trust us. And that's one of the things you can do. People don't like to hear that, meditation really, really helps if you have any kind of anxiety. But if you have any kind of anxiety, I highly, highly recommend you do meditation. But for depression, if you are feeling depressed, it's because you're depressing your emotions, okay? And so instead of dealing with them. So when you have an emotion, what emotions by themselves are not good or bad. So it's all about taking that emotion and saying, if it's not what you would call, and my team doesn't like to use positive and negative, but if you have a feeling, an emotion you don't like, sit with it and find out why, what limiting belief that you must have to hold that. Why do you think you're depressed? Well, all this bad stuff happens to me. And so, in my, so if you have a limiting belief that, oh, this bad stuff always happens to me, that's a belief. It's not reality. So that's just a belief. So you take that belief and you say, I know I am infinite worth. I know that I create my reality. And you send it off. You kiss that belief goodbye. I send it to the light. You can blow it a kiss to send it love and tell it goodbye. So you take those limiting beliefs. My team calls it BET, B-E-T. So the B stands for belief. And then the beliefs are in charge of your emotions, your feelings, right? And the emotions and feelings are in charge of your thoughts, words, action, and deeds. So think of it this way. The T comes first for a lot of people. They think thoughts, right? Thoughts, the thinking, where do they come from? Where does those action comes from? Well, they come from an emotion. You wouldn't have had a thought, positive or negative, if you didn't have the emotion or the feeling first. And then on top of that, Um, where does the emotions come from? Emotions come from beliefs. And if it's if it's something not positive, then it's from a limiting belief. And so my team calls it BET, B-E-T. And I write about them, and probably about a dozen in my book. I have about a dozen recipes on general healing and just dealing with the root chakra stuff. And so, how to ground, um, how to eat healthy, how to have a positive, happy mindset, and so much more. So in the book, The Joy of Unconsciousness, I take a deep dive into it, but this isn't about that. This is about that root chakra. This is about understanding that we are light beings, and our light puts out a frequency. And if that frequency is unbalanced in the root, then our root chakra is going to be clogged. Some people say it's going the wrong way, the wrong direction. And I don't want to get into that right here, right now. That's for join my class. My class is Soul Navigators Academy. But our frequency puts out electromagnetic field. And so the more positive our mindset becomes, the more positive our frequency becomes, and it starts to align with our higher truth and who we are and what we are. I want to see if I hit most of the basics on it. Do you have something to add?
I do, so as you were talking, and it's 100% just spot on. When I deal with a lot of my own healings that I had to, and a lot of my clients' healings, going back to the root chakra is just such a foundation. And, there's a lot of conditioned beliefs that get passed down from generation to generation that feed into your belief system about certain things. So say like with money, for instance, that's a big one for people. Once they realize that money is, really an energy, it's kind of just there, a tool to be used. It's not our whole living world. Things become a little bit easier. But like, for instance, like you have maybe a block with money, because we have to go in and peel back those layers and unblock and heal that root chakra and find out what's going on with that.
And also, before I lose this thought, you can come in with it on your root chakra. That's where the old beliefs come in. People are like, well, do we bring some of this with us? Yes, if we decide on the other side, we're going to clear that. We're going to make it, we're going to clear the belief that we have to live and die poor. I still hear young people say, this is who I am. This is who I'm always going to be. And I'm like, no, that's a limiting belief. So you came to clear that. So that's why we do carry that. We'll say, okay, we'll put that in as part of our karma, and it comes in. Where does it come in, those limiting beliefs? Right on the root. That's why it's called the root chakra. Yeah.
And it's amazing because like you may have had grandparents or great grandparents who say like lived during the Depression. Well, their whole system and society was completely different, and they were holding on to everything because they were afraid to lose it. And that's an emotional trauma. That's like a PTSD for many people, and it sticks with them. So once they have that, and like good old, I think Dr. Joe Dispenza says it the best. He's great with all of this, but they all mention it. It's like when you experience that and hold on to it long enough, it then turns into like a characteristic, and then into a trait, and then into a personality, and then it becomes your personal reality. And it's system.
And it happens generation after generation. What's another root problem? People come in saying, I'm going to beat addiction, and they'll have a parent, a grandparent, it's been in their family line. Same thing for abuse of one kind or the other that you go through. I hate to tell people, if it's been a pattern with you, you signed up for it. I wish it was different, but this is the Master Schoolroom Earth, right? Master School, we signed up for the difficult lessons. Why? We wanted to clear them for ourselves, our ancestors. We wanted to raise our consciousness and say, I can handle it. It did not hurt my soul. Yes, I went through abuse, but you know what? It might hurt the physical me, but I know my soul is eternal. I know it did not hurt my soul. I know when I wake up, it's going to be all a dream. And for some people, that might be part of your in Earth Schoolroom. We think it as a nightmare, but when you get back home, you're going to go, yeah, that was a cool lesson. Glad I signed up for it because I cleared it. I conquered it. So there's a lot of good in it, but we do bring all that stuff, those old, outdated situations, whether they're physical or mental. And Katie, I don't know about you. I think it's more difficult for a lot of people to overcome the psychological part of a chakra than it is to, like, say, the physical, because they can understand the physical and they have the physical, but the psychological part that they can't touch is a little more difficult.
I agree, because, like if something, first of all, we know that most of our medical issues pop up due to long storing emotional feelings regarding emotional traumas and things like that. A lot of people can't understand that concept or think of the relationship between the two, or the fact that, say, for instance, you have a broken heart. And when you have a broken heart, your knees are also affected, like the whole saying, weaken the knees. But it weakens that body part. And as time goes on, it's more susceptible to hurting it and needing to have something else pop up. But yeah, it is. But you know what I am finding, though, is that those that are very open to it, that calling to find out what's going on with themselves, they're open to finding that out. And the more that they open themselves up to it, the easier the blocks are dissolving. And when they finally look at it as an emotional or a psychological thing in that aspect, they just get this aha moment. And that's when we realize that we're doing something. Just what this is all created for is just to empower people to awaken the healer inside them as well. So
right. And I'm going to jump just for half a minute. So it's chapter 3 in my book, The Joy of Unconsciousness. I have the Root Chakra recipes, and it's all about holistic healing yourself. I'm just going to read a couple of them. Recipes for remembering your existence is enough. A recipe for chakra clearing and energy healing. And I explained why. I just don't tell you what it is and how to do it, but I explained the importance of it. Recipe for quick chakra clearing, recipe for morning mantra, recipe for a happy, healthy life, recipe for living without disease, recipe for general healing, recipe for relieving anxiety, for releasing stuck energies, for quieting the monkey mind, and a recipe for how to live the way. And I got that one, by the way, How to Live the Way. Buddha came in and gave me that recipe. So that was kind of cool when Buddha did that.
Reading it in your book, it's a lot easier than you think. Sometimes it's like, oh, I have to be totally prepared. I have to light candles. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to get in this mindset, and it's not. You make it so much easier than than people really think it is.
Yeah. And after you do a couple of the recipes, you get the hang of it.
What I like is when you work on one chakra, there are things that happen that help unblock the other chakras too, or to an extent. So, I have a client who there was generations of molestations just repeated. I mean, you can see where it was coming from both sides
Right.
of the families. And that was truly causing a lot of anxiety. There were things like, there were trust issues, abandonment issues, anger, sadness, you name it, it's there. And that all affected the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra for sure. And then it kind of evolved, some of it coming up too. But by tackling that root chakra in this type of a situation, it really helped give some relief to the sacral chakra.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're all tied. So that's a perfect example how one chakra is tied to the next chakra, tied to the next. They don't work in isolation. They don't. We are energy bodies. We put out a beautiful rainbow of colors, and one chakra is definitely tied to the next chakra. So, for instance, if you have a disorder of the bones and the teeth, which is part of the root chakra problem, you probably also have a throat chakra blockage as well. But you get to the root of it, you got them both cleared. So that's a beautiful, beautiful example on that. So if the root chakra is unbalanced, you might have obesity problems, you might be too thin, eating disorders, sciatic nerve, fatigue, foot problems, arthritis, disorders of the bones or the teeth, and like I said, life challenge and addictions. So what happens if you're in balance, right? So if you're in balance, you're going to know your self-worth. That's the main thing. How do you learn your self-worth? You learn your self-worth by understanding, and Yeshua ben Joseph said this, that God is unfulfilled without you. So all that there is, source energy, is unfulfilled without you. So without you, source is not complete. You exist and you will always exist. And when you understand that your self-worth is equal to all the other souls and beings, all the other people, all the other animals, all the other trees that you will ever meet on this planet and off this planet, there's not one greater or less than you. If you made someone greater, that's because that's what you're taught. I have a personal relationship with Yeshua ben Joseph. I call him grandfather. I love him. I love him. But I can't tell you how many times he's come in and he said things like, know your self-worth, know who you are. He doesn't want us to worship him, but he wants us to be his dear friend. He wants to hug us. He wants to love us. And so he wants us to see our own self-worth. So with that, when you understand your existence is enough, and you don't have to make $1 million, you don't have to be famous, that you are enough exactly the way you are, then that allows your frequency to tune in and to begin to wipe clean some of that root chakra energy that's stuck. And you begin to let go of things, saying, oh, I don't have to do this, and I don't have to do that. I'm enough. So I think that's very, very important. But you will feel physically good when your root chakra is imbalanced. You will feel abundant because you know that you are abundant. You're abundant with life. You're abundant with whatever house or place you live in, even if it's a tent. You're abundant with whatever food you have that you've been blessed to have, and that you're abundant with your higher self and with your spirit team. And all you got to do is tell your higher self, you know what? Let's say you're feeling financially strapped. Tell your higher self, I'm tired of feeling financially strapped. I am abundant. Call in your self-worth and say, get me there. Get me so I can see the money in the bank. Show me the shortest, quickest route there. And so what will happen is your higher self will give you a wild, crazy idea. It's up to you to follow that wild, crazy idea, that wild, crazy dream that your higher self gives you. It's up to you. This is your reality. You make it.
Well,
So,
and that gets you to start looking at what inspires you as well. I mean, inspiration just can turn things into something amazing, like you would never even think about. I did that with the monument entering into the state of California off the 10 freeway. I mean, all I wanted at that time, I was helping to revitalize the Chamber of Commerce in my hometown that sits right on the border of the 10 freeway on Arizona and California. It's called Blythe. And I'll make it really quick, MonaLisa, but following that inspiration that you're talking about too, about getting it out there. You know, I was just wondering how we can help clean up the freeway a little bit and how we can have a better sign than Arizona had. And just by like following, I don't know, it was COVID at the time. All I heard was just get on the freeway. And so I was getting on the freeway on and off. There's 4 exits and I'm taking pictures. Now, don't do this while you're driving, but I was taking pictures and videos and going into Arizona and coming back into the state to see what we have. And just really, really like, we got to have something better than Arizona over there. Now, I love my Arizona people. But what did that do? I started sending it off to Caltrans. I never really thought about it, but one inspirational thought turned into another. And I'm like, okay, I guess this is just what I have to do. And when you start listening to that inspiration, it's crazy. But I started emailing people at Caltrans saying, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. And it would reach a department. And then because of COVID, it would be at a standstill for a while. But the more I just felt like, oh, I feel that urge. Let's call them. Let's push it again. Let's see what's going on. And it would get passed around. And there were some conversations in between time and some ideas that came up for a sign, but they were never, it never fell through that way. But what I did get almost a year later, in 2021, I got a call from this great guy at Caltrans, and he's like, Ms. Cusick, you're going to get your way. You're going to get what you want. And this is what we're doing. And it was it's a monument. It's huge. It's beautiful. This is California. It's got the bear. The bear's name is Mona.
I just took a picture of it, by the way. I just took a picture of it.
And it's amazing. And I never thought that it would be a monument. And then I was talking to a friend at Caltrans, who became a friend, very, very respected person, later as it was going on. And I thought, did all of that help create what is now known as the California Beautification Grant? And when that started, and because not only did the monument get put there, it got put in almost every border town entry up the state of California. And I was blown away. I was just blown away at all that was working energetically, not from just me, from people, for just doing what they were normally doing, or maybe they were working in inspiration too, to create something so huge and so amazing. Like you just when you think it's done, like, oh yeah, I did it, then something even bigger comes along. And
that's the way spirit works. That's exactly the way spirit works. Exactly the way it happened with, I wrote a little book, Downloads for One Consciousness. I'm like, I'm done. I wrote the book. My team comes in and says, now we want you to teach it. I'm like, what do you mean you want me to teach it? Like, you got to give me tools. And so I would say within 3 months, it was the easiest book I ever wrote because I channeled it. I got the joy of One Consciousness. And from that, I'm like, they want me to teach it. How am I going to put all these classes together? I can't even count the number of videos I have for the class. It's way over 60.
But if the tools were provided to you, you could ask that and you could doubt it for like a second, and then no, you turn it completely over and look at what happened.
Yeah, and so the classes were easy peasy, and yeah, to write, and then after I wrote them, I turned them into PowerPoints, and so that's how we got my academy. So, but it was them. It was just one little, I want to say, one peanut after the next peanut after the next peanut, just following the peanut trail. And that's the way it's supposed to work. We're not supposed to know the end result. We're just supposed to follow that beautiful intuition, that beautiful spark. Mm-hmm. That spark is from our higher self. I do want to do, just for fun, I thought we would do a quick exercise. I was going to, if someone came online today, if they wanted to have me do a mediumship, more than happy to do it right now, but I don't see anyone. So at this moment, asking if they want to do a mediumship, let us know in the comments, and I'll do a mediumship reading for you. If not, I want to do this exercise. I want to do a quick root chakra clearing exercise for everyone, and it only is going to take a minute or two, but so you know how to begin to heal that root chakra. And this is probably one of the first root chakra healings I did. And afterwards I thought, so this is how it's done. And it felt good. And it kind of got me onto, at that time, I didn't understand the chakra system. It's part of just physics. It's just physics. And I teach that in my academy, if you're interested in. So I didn't understand that. And so all I understood was that the chakras were from spiritual things that people use. And I didn't know how real they could feel or they could heal. And then I did this little exercise and I got the aha, it works type thing. So if you're at home, you're listening, just imagine a beautiful, beautiful, we're going to do a white cord coming in through your crown from your higher self. And it goes all the way to your feet. And this cord goes through your shoes, through your floor, all the way down into Mother Earth. And this cord is hollow. Imagine it hollow. And it also has beautiful holes all in it, because now your higher self is going to pour in beautiful source light energy into your crown. And it's going to go into every part and particle of not only your crown, your third eye, your throat chakra, your heart chakra, but it's really getting into the nits and the crannies of that solar plexus and the sacral. And when it gets down into the root, it gets all of it that you've carried for so long. And a lot of it is ancient, like karma, ancient limiting beliefs, and feel this beautiful golden light oozing in each and every part and particle of you. And let it ooze in your legs, in your hips, in your knees, in your toes, in your ankles. Let it go down into Mother Earth. And know that as it does, it's clearing you. It's releasing any unwanted energies that are not yours. Any energies that are not serving your highest good. And breathe in. And you can ask if you have a certain area, especially in your root chakra, that needs to be healed, whether it's psychologically, spiritually, physically, any root chakra situations that you might be feeling, ask, where are you rooted? What is the root? You might get a vision, a knowing. You might receive just a thought. That situation when I was a child, we didn't have enough money, so I've always hoarded food. Whatever it is for you. But know that you're safe, you're protected, well cared for from your team, your higher self, source energy, and that you do have enough food, that you are protected, that you're stable. Feel your energy centers stabilize you. Feel your self-worth. Your self-worth is equal to that of all that is. Because all that is would not be complete, would be unfulfilled without you. And because you exist, you will always exist. Your soul is eternal. And when you let the physical body go and go home one day, you will still feel like you. So death is unreal. So let go of any fear around death. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Let any fear that you're not worthy enough, let it go, let it go, let it go. Let your energy feel protected, guided, worthy. You are worthy. You are, I am, and you are enough. Breathe in and let it go. So it is, so it is, so it is. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you for leading and guiding that. That was just short. Didn't want to get into it too long, but I wanted people to know how effective root healing can be.
That was nice. Thank you.
You're so welcome. So I don't see any questions. You want to have fun, well, thank you, thank you, Mindy.
There's a few there. I don't know if they want to have a reading or not, or I'd love to have fun, and it is a good time.
Yeah. So yes. And we thank you as well. So does anyone want to be brave and come in if they want a mediumship, or they have a question for Xand, my spirit guides? Feel free at this point. I think all our listeners are being shy today. Do you think if you was to ask Xand, if I was to go in and bring them out, you got a question?
Sure.
Okay, let me see. Hello, 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 dear ones. We are One Consciousness. We are pleased to be here to dance with you in this now through all realities. And we have been present while you did this glorious root chakra healing. And yes, things in physicality are like that tree stump. Think of it as a tree, and think of the root. If it is not watered, if it's not cared for enough, if it doesn't have the sunlight, So many of you agreed. You agreed in your childhood that you would participate in the darkness. And it wasn't so that, quote, mean things could happen to you. It was to grow your soul. It was that you agreed that your soul needed to grow for multiple reasons in that direction. Maybe it is to heal a family line. Think think of it as if you overcame an addiction that has been in a family line for generations and generations, and you, dear ones, and you are the one who stopped that. What a glorious gift that you gave your family line, your soul family. What a glorious gift. It is to be celebrated, to be celebrated. We will say that addiction comes normally from having a hole. Addiction comes from wanting something that you don't know your self-worth, is what it boils down to. Addiction is not understanding the simplicity of who you are, that you're an eternal soul and that you're here playing this game of chess. And you picked a most difficult school room. Yes, you picked one of the most difficult schoolrooms across the entire cosmos. But it is not the most darkest. It is not the most polarized. It is one of the most. It is one of the most. And that's why we always tip our halos to you. If we had halos, you would look at us, for some of us, and you would think we do have halos, but know that we don't. It is just our light frequency that we put out more light, because some of us are at a higher light frequencies than you are. And so we want to congratulate you for working on your root chakra today, on getting to the root of the matter.
Well, I had a question, but you just answered it. Thanks, Xand.
That is how we work. That is how we work. And we're just pleased to be here in this moment, in this time. And to let those who are listening know what's happening across the planet is this beautiful, beautiful, some of you are calling it a mass awakening. But know that on a spiritual level, it will not be for everyone. It might just be that their consciousness has risen and they might decide that their life is going in one direction and they decide to perhaps do a different career in a different direction. And it has nothing to do with spirituality, but their consciousness has risen as such, that it is now at the time across the planet that consciousness is at the time that you can say it is of the great awakening.
That was a lot. Thank you. Is there any other, I guess, something that we missed with all of this that we were talking about earlier today that our listeners need to know? Is there anything else that we may have?
For the root chakra, for that part of your Merkaba, for that part of your light body, it is all about releasing old beliefs that are not yours. It's about you took on beliefs from some of you, your ancestors, but most of you from your families and your communities where you were raised. And as you release old beliefs and old ways and old thinking that is not yours, the root chakra will come into balance itself. And so it's not work to be done. It's actually releasing that which doesn't belong to you. It's releasing, you can think of it as releasing others' truth that's not your truth. And as you do this healing work for yourself, and as you find your own truth, know that it may not be someone else's. And so we would encourage you to continue your work and know that your work is your work, and your work may not, the best you can do for someone else is to be an example. It is not your work. It is not your job to heal someone else. It is not your responsibility to make them see that they are light beings, and that their body in third density is really a glorious, glorious soul, having a third density dream, a third density play, that this is a play, or a field trip that you signed up for.
Wonderful. Well, I do have a couple of questions coming in from our viewers. One is how can I get out of a root chakra block? And then I'll tell you the second one after.
So the root chakra block, how to get out of it. That is simply, we would say, the easiest way to get out of it is get rid of the word block in your vocabulary, because your words are powerful. They are like spells. So if you say you have a block, dear one, you have a block. So get rid of that word. So what you may mean is that you have a root chakra challenge. And so whatever it is, you will find the end of it at what we call a limiting belief. And so we gave to the channel the BET for a reason. And so your thoughts, your actions, your deeds come from your emotions, your feelings. And where do they come from? They come from your beliefs. And if it's not serving you, if it's not your truth, that's a limiting beliefs. You are more powerful. This is the big secret. We're going to tell all of you. You are far more powerful than you will, that many of you, most of you will recognize in your lifetime. Know that your consciousness, that you are powerful beings with your intent and your will and your consciousness. And the more love that you fill up your consciousness and your intent and your being, the easier it is to maneuver into this reality and into other realities.
It's very empowering. We do have a question, and Mindy asks, as we move into our crystalline forms, how is this going to affect our chakras?
So as we move into our crystalline forms, you are already been born. You were already been born as light beings. You might be saying, as you let more and more light in, how is it going to affect your chakras? So your chakras just are going to, as you go into fourth density and fifth density beings, you have more light in your chakras, and you will sit more in the heart. So as many people have said in the lower third chakras for millenniums, for thousands and thousands of years, some of you have sat in that root chakra for thousands of years all by itself. And then you moved up from the root to the sacral, and from the root to the sacral to the solar plexus. This is the only place that negative, that quote, the negative thinking really can take hold. Yes, with the broken heart, you're getting that effect. But remember that the heart is still tied to the root, right? There's a root problem. That, let's say you have a broken heart, and you have a broken heart because your loved one has left you on the other side, and boo-hoo, your loved one's on the other side, riding a wild horse, having the time of their life, and your loved one on the other side is, guess what? Is with your higher self. They're not missing you as you're missing them. Come time to wake up, time to see it the way it really is, and not what you've been taught. You were taught that when you're dead, perhaps they are in heaven singing to in the choir. But a lot of people who decide to go on the other side, they do what they love to do. So if you love to go camping, guess what? You're going to spend time camping. If you love to go camping with your loved one, 10 to 1, you're off camping with your loved one's higher self. So they're not missing you the way you're missing them. They're celebrating their life. Yes, there is a life review, and it's all done in positivity and light. But back to your question, you will just have more light in that light body, in your crystalline body. You already have it. You are thinking that this third density body is solid. Your third density body is not solid. This is just physics. We're not making this up. It's just physics. Your body is made of octrillions and octrillions and octrillions of atoms. And the atoms are not fixed. They are moving, and they allow light in. And the more light you allow in, the more source energy you have. And as you become more and more your chakra system is going to reflect more and more source energy, more and more light of the upper chakras. And so your fingerprint is going to look different. If you was to pass away like a year ago, your fingerprint, meaning your chakra, meaning your aura, meaning your frequency, when you pass away, that vibration that was you is known instantly. And perhaps a year ago, you were living in more crystalline body, more dense body. But now it's more light. And now as your light body becomes more light and you live more and more in the heart, those of us who are on the other side will be able to see it immediately. And so you are producing more light this way. You are producing the frequency of the heart and the throat and the third eye and the crown. And so the magic we would like to bring in, which is as old as time itself. It's what we taught the channel to say, it's a dinosaur egg idea. The goal in third density is to love every moment you're in, and do everything with love. And that opens up more and more light, to do everything you do with love. It's that simple. This is not complicated, dear ones. You tend to like things complicated. It is not. It is simply to love what you do. Even if it's cleaning a toilet, love cleaning that toilet. Why? Because you're going to do it anyway. So why not do it with love and service? So do all things with love. And let it be the guiding post. Let love be the guiding post. And that is the secret to allowing more and more light in.
Did that answer your questions? Maybe letting the light in and pour out through more open chakras. So is that expanding the chakras even more?
So is it expanding the chakras? It is, it's allowing more light in. As a soul, you are a soul. And so your soul body, as you expand, allows more and more light in. And so many are thinking as you go into fourth density, then the chakras become like the green chakra becomes the rose. It begins the pastel, the pastel colors. So you can look at it that way too, if you desire. But does your chakras expand? As you grow in light, you're always expanding. You're expanding your light in your soul. Your soul is your soul. So within your soul, you allow more light in. So your crystalline body in that sense becomes more of a light body.
Okay. Excuse me, do all intelligent beings throughout the universe have chakras, or are they unique to humans?
All beings across the universe. So even those in seventh density So even those in the higher realms, so as long as they might have more of a light body and not what you would consider a physical body. So in the fourth density, you still have a physical body. As you enter the fifth density, you still have a physical body, but you're becoming more and more of just a light body, meaning depending on the species, whether you're going to eat or not, or you have those experiences. So when you cross over, you're going to wake up in a sixth density body of light. It's a beautiful, beautiful light body. And then as you go up, you become more and more of a light being. It's a frequency. So it's a frequency, meaning that it's all here, it's all now. And so those in fifth density won't necessarily see those in seventh density, just like those in fifth density here. And I mean, those in sixth density that are here with you, you're not seeing them because you're at a different frequency, you're at a different vibration than they are. But it's all here, it's all now.
Okay, and Mindy, let me know if I'm not asking this correctly. She says, I mean, the light body and physical becomes plasma. Do the light body and physical become plasma?
So as you go up the ladder, and so if you're reborn in fourth density, then you will have more of a light body, meaning more of source energy within you, and you will vibrate at a higher frequency. That's what it means. You're just vibrating at a higher frequency, at a higher vibration. And so you can keep it simple that way. So just think of it that way. The higher up you go, the faster your frequency. What's a frequency? It's just a vibration. It's a vibration of, it's a signature. Each and every soul across the cosmos has a signature frequency. You can even say those at the highest level, meaning the archangels, they have a signature frequency. Everyone knows that Archangel Michael has a frequency of protection. Everyone knows that the Archangel Gabriel has a strong frequency of communication. Raphael of healing energy. These are frequency vibrations.
Wonderful. Thank you. Are there any other questions out there? Wow. Well, thank you so much, Sam. We always appreciate you coming in and setting us straight.
It is our pleasure to do so. It is our pleasure. We are honored to be here in love and light and light and love. And I can feel that they have left.
Oh.
It's that quick.
It gets to be more quick with you.
Yeah.
And going out. Yeah. Mindy, I'm sorry if we didn't answer that last question. I just saw it.
What is it? They can probably answer it.
So she said, yes. So as our frequency rises and we move through higher dimensions, do we become plasma light?
And
do you remember any of that?
And we move through higher dimensions to become more plasma light. They're saying you can look at it that way if you desire, but know that across the cosmos, there are different words and different understandings of it. So that might be, they tell me that's like a earth. It's like a earth way of looking at it, an earth, and that's okay.
All right. Well, that was fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Xand. Thank you, One Consciousness. Thank you.
So, and then somebody did have a question, because I did put in here, when we asked if anybody wanted a mediumship. I said, does anybody want a healing? And there was a question put to that. So yes, we do mediumship readings here with MonaLisa. So if you are interested in that, and you have a question that you might want to ask someone who has, parted from us or such, she'll go in and give you that reading. She want to explain it a different way.
No, that's fine. So on the podcast, we're more than happy. We'll continue to practice the quick root thing, but to receive a healing, go to soulnavigators.com or to Alchemy in Motion, and I would love to see you over there. You can just check out my website, and I'm sure Katie feels the exact same way. So you can try us both out, see which one you mess with, which one your heart sings with. And so, but yeah, so we both offer healings, and we love to do them. It's part of our intuitive services. I do something called a healing chip, which I do a energetic healing. And then I call in your guides and your higher self if you have any questions for them. If not, I ask them a bunch of questions. And then at the end, I do a mediumship reading. And so I don't know about Katie, but I know that if you tell me you're from the podcast, the first service is always 50% off. So that's my podcast special. And I do that for all the podcasts I'm on, as well as this podcast. So,
to know how Zeppelin is doing. She said, "Would love to know how Zeppelin is doing."
They want me to connect. It might be let me see.
Do we have enough time?
Yeah. Well, it is 5. Do we have time? I'm not quite sure. So let me go in for half a minute. Let me see. So I don't know who Zeppelin is, but the first thing I hear is this music. So they must have really enjoyed music, but I hear something, so I'm going to step out. I don't know what. Did you hear something? So we might need to end it. I don't know. Huh? Oh, okay. So I heard that she is gone. So I'm going to wait and do that one later. The person who asked that question, love to know how Zeppelin is doing, is gone. So I will have to do that some other time for that particular person. So anyway, let me see. Let me my higher self. I think this is Courtney. If I'm got the wrong person, Charlie said that Courtney's not gone. So I'm going to try again. So I know I'm getting a little confused because I was hearing things off the camera. So I apologize. And honestly, the only thing I'm getting, and it's I don't know what to say about this, is a dog dancing. So I don't know who Zeppelin was, but that's all I'm getting, Courtney, is a dog dancing. So I don't know if that's a loved one or a loved one playing a prank on you, So that's what I got. I got a dancing dog, like dancing to music. I don't know. I got a dancing dog, Courtney. So, yeah, that's what I got. I got an image of a dancing dog. So, like I said, I don't know if she's here or not. But that's what I got. So she's not here. We can't verify, I guess, unless, can you see the comments?
She said, haha, thank you. That makes sense to me.
Oh, okay. You want to explain it to the rest of us? Because I feel like I'm a little nuts over here. A dancing dog.
Anyway, well,
okay.
We can have more fun with this on our next one too. So
yeah, well, do it a little sooner than later. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, that's fun. Okay. With that, I think let's wrap it up.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We appreciate you growing with us as we grow too. Some of your patience. And just know that, you know what, we're going to bring in Xand on future ones. We're going to do mediumships on future ones as well. If there's something that you would like us to go over, because we are kind of growing in succession that way, we'll be covering up lots of other topics. But if there's something in particular that you'd like to know more about, feel free to contact us and we'll make it happen. So thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And may it grow your soul as it does mine. Top of the now to you. Top of the now to you. Thank you for joining us on the Soul Navigators podcast. And we hope today's journey supports you in your own awakening and connection to one consciousness. If this episode resonated, we'd love for you to follow the show and share it with someone who would benefit from this work. To go deeper, visit soulnavigators.academy, and you can find all of my books on Amazon. Until next time, remember, we're walking this path together.